All right, let's go to the back. Remember, the first thing you want to look to see is, do they have something the same? Since they all have an x, you know it's going to be a 1 by 3. So I'll write 40 x to the 5th minus 20 x to the 4th plus 30 x squared. I notice they all end in 0, so 10. 10 times 4, negative 10 times 2, and 10 times 3. 5 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 x's. So I notice they all have a 10. Don't circle the negative. They have an x, an x, and an x, another x, another x, another x. These have more x's, but this one doesn't, so you're done. So that would be 10x squared. Now I really have to focus here. I'm left with a 4, and I'm left with 3 x's. I'm left with a negative 2, and I'm left with 2 x's, and then I'm left with just a 3 plus 3. So my answer is 10x squared, 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 3. And it's in the right order, 3, 2, nothing. Let's go to the next one. They don't have anything in common, so I know it's going to be a 2 by. First guy, last guy, circle. All the ways to get 12, 1, 12, 2, 6, 3, 4. My goal is to get the center. I love that it's all positive. Boom, there's my answer, 3 and 4. Doesn't matter which one I put where. Break it down, x, x, 3, x, x, x. Whoosh. Bring it up, positive. 3 times what gives me 12? That's 4 positive. So my answer is x plus 3, x plus 4. Next one. Now remember, you want to try these problems yourself. If you don't need me, your job is to just check it. Next one. They don't have anything the same. 2 by. Make my little box. First guy. Last guy. Circle it. 6. All the ways to get 6. 1, 6. 2, 3. Since this is positive, that means they're both going to be the same sign. So the one that adds to 7 is negative 1 and negative 6. So since they're both negative, it doesn't really matter which one I put where. I'll put this here, but you could put the 6 there. It doesn't matter. Your answer will be the same. And I'll put a negative 6n here. Now with this one, 3 and n, negative 1 n. Okay? So when I look, they both have oh no, they both don't have a 3, sorry. They both have an n, and that's all they both have. So I have the n. That means I have to bring up a 3n, and I'm left with minus 1. 1 times what gives me 2? 2. And 2 negatives make a positive. So my answer is 3n minus 1 and minus 2. Let's go to the next one. I look to see if something the same. They don't. 2 by. First guy. Last guy. Circle. 1 times 9 is 9. All the ways to get 9. 1, 9, 3, 3. This is positive, but this is negative. So when that's positive, they're both going to be negative. There's my answer. It doesn't matter which one I put where, because it's the same thing. Now the problem is, if I go 9mm and negative 3 times 1m, I'm not going to have anything the same. So the 9 is not a good idea, because I can actually make a 3 and a 3 from that. So let's make it 3 times 3. Now I'll have a match. 3, 3, m, 3m, whoosh. I'm left with 3m minus 1. 1 times what gives me 1? 1. And a negative times a negative is a positive. I notice these are exactly the same. So that means squared. Let's go to the next one. They have nothing the same. 2 by. First guy. Last guy. Circle. Now, that's going to be difficult to multiply. So I'm going to pick up my calculator and I'm going to go 36 times 49. I know it's hard to hear, or hard to see. So 1764. So negative 1764. Oops. Remember, let me make that 6 a little bit more clear. You don't have a center. If you don't have a center, you've got a square root of 1764. So you're going to clear it, and the square root button is right there underneath the squared. So I'm going to go second squared of 1764, and boom, my answer is 42. So that means 42, negative 42. I'll put the positive with the positive, and the negative with the negative. Cover it up. 36 and 42 is a little bit more difficult. 6, 6, P, P, 6, 7, P. They both have a 6. They both have a P. Whoosh it over. I'm left with a 6P. And I'm left with a positive 7. 7 times what gives me 49? 7, but that's negative, so that has to be negative. These are not the same, so I'm not going to write squared. 6P plus 7, 6P minus 7. Let's go to the next one. First thing to do is look to see if they have something the same. They do. It's a 1 by. This is when I'm going to fill up the baskets. I probably should have made it bigger. 14C cubed minus 18C squared minus 12C. I notice all those numbers are even, and so they divide by 2. 2, 7, C, C, C. Negative 2, 9, CC, and negative 2 times 6, C. They all have a 2. They all have a C. Whoosh over the 2C. I'm left with 7C squared minus 9C minus 6. So my answer is, and I'm good to go. 2, 1, nothing. It's in the right order. Next one. I look to see, do they have something the same? They don't. Since they don't have anything the same, 2 by. First guy. Last guy, circle. Negative 8. All the ways to get 8. 1, 8, 2, 4. Since this is negative, only one of them is going to be negative. So I'm going to be subtracting. So what gives me 2? 4 and 2. But since this is negative, the bigger guy is negative. Okay. So I'll put the positive with the positive so that the negative goes with the negative because I feel like it. Oops. 4x. Break it down. X, 2x, x, whoosh. Bring up the x. Bring up the positive 2. 2 times what gives me 8? 4, but it's negative. So my answer is, sorry I didn't leave you much space, x plus 2, x minus 4. Next problem. I look to see, do they have something the same? They don't. 2 by. First guy. Last guy, circle. Negative 10. All the ways to get 10. 1, 10. 2, 5. Since this is negative, that means we're going to minus, we're going to subtract to get 3. This gives me 3. Since this is positive, the bigger number is positive, so the smaller one is negative. Since that's positive, I'm going to stick it with a positive, and the negative can go with a negative. You can switch them, it doesn't matter. Break it down. 5x, 5 times 1, x. 5, x. So whoosh over the 5x. I'm left with x plus 1. 1 times what gives me 2? 2, but it's negative, so there's the negative. Therefore, my answer is 5x minus 2, x plus 1. Last one. Do they have something the same? They don't, so it's a 2 by. I'm going to make it smaller this time. I probably made it a little bit too small. Okay. Circle it. 81. But remember, because there's no center, I'm going to have to square root it. Well, the square root of 81 is 9. But if I go 9 minus 9, and I multiply that, I'll never get 81. So since this is a plus right here, it's not factorable. So I want you to look at the difference. If we had the same problem that was x squared minus 81, and we did our box, let me move this up. I play the same game. Negative 81, 9 and negative 9 gives me negative 81. Oops, I'm sorry, you can't see that. Let me zoom out a little bit. So let me say it again. Same problem, but this says plus and this says minus. 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. But 9 times negative 9 is not positive 81. So this one would be factorable and would give you this. So, but when it's minus, you can do it. But when that is plus, it's out. Now that you have finished this page, just like you did on Friday or Thursday. So on Thursday, this should have been stamped by the substitute because you completed the half sheet on Thursday. Now today is Friday. Have your stamp stamped right there to show that you completed it. Now you can do your homework. So if you look right here, let me get to the page so you can be very clear. Thursday's homework was doing all the odds. Tonight's homework is doing all the evens. So when you come back, and I come back on Monday, I will be expecting that this is all complete. I want to go back. That should have been completed on Tuesday with the video. Okay? And everything before that, that's the quiz review. That's what we're going to do on Monday. So we'll do this when you get back. Okay? Thank you for being responsible.